welcome back to this module for databases and game developers. So for this module, we are going to talk about filtering the data that we are displaying. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so just to recap from our previous modules, so we have discussed the select statement, the distinct keyword, and the count function, right? So far, we have just been displaying data without filtering them. So let's go ahead and just add a section here. By the way, the double dash means that this is a SQL comment. So this won't be executed by your editor. So filtering data. So for now, let's go ahead and display everything from the film table. So select asterisk from film. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so let's navigate this table for a bit. So rental rate. Okay, so let's use the rental rate for filtering. So let's say we need to display all the films that has a rental rate more than or equal $2.99. Okay, so a very helpful clause or a very helpful SQL query would be the where clause. So this allows us to filter data, right? So for the syntax of where clause, so the select clause and the where clause works hand in hand because the select statement displays the data, wherein the where clause filters the data that we need to show, right? So for the syntax, so select column name, column name, for example, column name 2. Let's make this column name 1 from table name where conditions. So this part you already know, but here you guys I assume are not familiar. So if you know basic math, conditions work the same way as greater than or equal, less than, and not equal, right? So for the conditions, we have a few operators that we can use. So equal is this one, so single equal sign. So greater than is this one, less than is this one. So this is just your basic math. Greater than or equal is this one, less than or equal is this one, and not equal could be exclamation point equal, or in some SQL languages it could be this one, right? So we have different choices for not equal. So let's go ahead and use the where clause in tandem with the select statement. So here let's first display all. So select all from film, right? So let's try to run this. So here, let's try to add a condition wherein we are only displaying the films with a rental rate of more than $2.99. Okay, so select all from film. Oh, I'll just delete this one. So we need to add the where clause. So where. So for the conditions, we need to add the field that we are applying the condition to. So in our case, that would be the rental rate. So we need to display all the films with rental rate that costs more than $2.99, right? So we need to use the greater than statement. So greater than $2.99. So SQL, every SQL language accepts integer values or float values here, as well as string values. So let's go ahead and highlight this and try to execute this. So there, total query runtime successfully run. Okay, so let's see. We have just displayed all the movies that costs more than $2.99 to rate. right? So as you can see here, to 499. Let's see if we can find values below 299. I don't think we can find any other film because we have applied the where clause here. But for example, you need to include 299, right? So we just need to use the greater than or equal condition here. So I added the equal sign. So this is now greater than or equal. So let's try to run that. So there we go. Let's see. Rental rate. There we go. We now have included the 299 value here. So what this does is that it displays all the films that costs 299 or more for you to rent. So now that you know how to use conditions in your where clause, I'm just gonna give you a simple exercise. So let's go ahead and so for your exercise, I need you all to display all the films with more than 1 hour of duration. Okay, so again, you may pause this video if you want to solve this on your own. So again, we will be doing some data exploration for this one. So let's go ahead and use what we have now. Okay, so let's identify the column that would determine the duration of our films. So as you can see here, we have the title, description, release year. Okay, so rental duration. Oh, here we have the length field here in our film table. So I'm assuming this is these values are in minutes. So again, the challenge is display all the films with more than hour of duration. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we now have identified the field or the column that determines the duration of our movie. So let's go ahead and change our where clause. So length is greater than 60. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So I'll just go ahead and run this. Okay. So let's go ahead and check. So length. If we see a value here less than 60, then that means our condition is wrong. Our query is wrong. But so far, I think we have managed to display all the movies that is 1 hour long or more. Okay. So if you want to use the previous lessons that we have, so for example, the count. So if you applied it here, so select count from film where length is 60. This just means that we are counting the number of films with 1 hour or more duration. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to run this. So there, we have 896 movies that is more than 1 hour long in duration. So let's compare that to the query that doesn't have a where clause. So select all from film. There we go. So we have a total of 1,000 movies and 896 of those movies are 1 hour or more in duration. So that's how you apply a condition in the where clause. So always remember this, the syntax. So select from and then where. So the where goes after the from statement. So take a break if you need to, and we will proceed in a short while. So going back to our where clause lesson, here we have just displayed the number of films or the films rather that has the length of more than 60 minutes. So this counts as one condition, right? But what if you need to display or you need to filter the data even more, right? So you need to use two or more conditions, right? So, by the way, the reason why this length right here is in orange font is because length is also a SQL keyword. But here, the SQL editor is intelligent enough to know that we are using the length keyword here as a column and not a function, a keyword. Okay. So going back, what if we need to use more than one condition in order to filter out our data? So if we need to filter out the data with more than one condition, we can use logical operators. So by the way, these six comparisons here, so these are comparison operators, and we have the what we call the logical operators. Okay, so I'll just comment that out. So logical operators, we have three: and, or, and not. Okay. So we can use logical operators in order for us to combine conditions. So if we need to use more than one condition, we can use the and, or not operators. So let's go ahead and display everything again from our film. So select all from film. So let's see here. What if we need to display all movies more than with more than 60 minutes of duration, but having the rental rate of just 2.99? Okay. So I'll just delete this first. So for the 60 minutes condition, we already have that. So where length is greater than 60. But if we need to have more than one condition, we can use, for example, the and logical operator and, let's say rental rate is greater than 2.99. Okay. So here we are checking two conditions, right? So the end here is just an operator, but here we are checking for two conditions. Number one, if the length is more than 60 minutes, and number two, if the rental rate is greater than 2.99. So let's go ahead and run this. There we go. So we can see here the lengths of our movies are more than 60 minutes, and the rental rate is more than 2.99. So what we need to understand here is that what does end do? Okay, so the end here checks if both conditional statements are true. Okay, so for example, if our movie, let's say, has more than 60 minutes, so this is true, right? But if our rental rate is less than or equal to 2.99, that means that that wouldn't fall inside this condition. And with the and logical operator, both conditions would be true. Okay. For the or, however, if we change this to or, either one of the conditions should be true in order for that record to show in our select statement. For example, our film duration is less than 60 minutes, so this is false, right? This condition is false. But our rental rate is greater than 2.99, so that record or that film will still be included here in our select statement. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to run this. So in these films, after we run this query, we will see varying films wherein there might be films less than 1 hour in duration but has a rental rate of 2.99 greater than 2.99. So as you can see here, we have this movie here, an epic drama of a cat and an explorer who must redeem a moose in Australia. For some reason, that's the movie film. Okay. So its duration or length is less than 60, but it has a rental rate greater than 2.99. So it's 4.99. So it's still included in this condition here in our select statement. So again, a simple exercise. Let's do another query here. Let's say we need to display all the movies having R or PG-13 rating. Okay, so select all from film where rating is let's see here. So rating is not a number, so it's a string of characters. So we can just put R here because our query won't understand that. Again, column R doesn't exist. Okay, so I'll just run this again. So in order for us to define strings, we need to use the apostrophe. So we need to enclose values, string values or character values in apostrophes. So rating is R, or rating is equals to, let's say, PG-13. Okay. So be careful with the cases of our strings here. If we use PG-13 in lowercase, that won't work. So we'll deal with that later. So PG-13. Oops, sorry. So again, we are using the or here so that we can display both. We can display movies having the rating R or PG-13. Right. So let's go ahead and try to run that. So movies here, displayed in our query will just have the rating of R or PG-13. Okay. So important things to remember here is the end requires both statements to be true, or requires just one of either statements to be true. And when dealing with characters, not numbers or floats, we need to enclose those values inside apostrophe. Okay. So we have now dealt with the and or operators, but not the not operator. So we will be dealing with not operator later on in this module. Okay. So let's go ahead and have a quick exercise for you guys. So let's go ahead and so for your exercise, we have this particular situation. Okay. So for our situation, a customer forgot their wallet in our store. So we need to track them down and email them to inform them. Okay. So you looked into their wallet and found an ID belonging to one Nancy Thomas. Okay. So for your challenge, you need to retrieve the email information of a customer having a name of Nancy Thomas. So please pause this video if you want to do this on your own. Okay, so this should be easy. We now know how to where or which table we can find the customer details of a particular customer. So that is under the customer table, right? So select wait. So for our challenge, let's just bring down the fields from our actor table. So we have, oops, not the actor table, but sorry, the customer table. So we need to display the email address. Again, retrieve the email information of a customer having a name of Nancy Thomas. Okay, so the first part of our query would go something like this. So select email from customer, right? But we need to filter our customers for who has the name of Nancy Thomas. Okay, so Nancy, I assume, would be the first name, and Thomas should be the last name, right? So from that information that you have, again, try to do this on your own. Please pause this video if you want to. So moving on with this query, we need to filter the customers having the name Nancy Thomas. So again, as mentioned earlier, Nancy should be the first name. So where first name, again, use the equal operator. First name Nancy. Oops, we need to enclose the value Nancy inside apostrophes. So let's go ahead and check if this query suffices. Okay. So luckily, we only have one customer who has the first name of Nancy. But if we want to be more quite sure about our query, we need to add the last name. So and last name Thomas. So again, let's try to run this. I'm sure it will just be this one. So nancy.thomas at sakilacustomer.org. So there we go. Now we have retrieved the email address of the customer who left her wallet from our store. So that's it for where clause, the where statement. We will be dealing with more SQL operators at the end of this module. So I hope you learned a lot. If you need to take a break, please do. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. So good job, guys, and good luck.